Everybody, it's Audra McClanahan here with Principles of Increase, where I help you discover and explore different ways to increase in every area of your life. In today's video, I am going to hopefully make this short and sweet, but I want to talk about how I am preparing to be a digital nomad or someone who travels most of the time. For those of you who have been following my journey, I first came online, over 10 years ago because I was sharing my journey about how I got out of debt. And then I went into my journey of how I started investing in real estate and stock, managing my kids' acting and entertainment career. And now I'm taking you on my next adventure. My kids are very grown now, and my youngest is almost out the house. And so that makes me think that this would be a perfect time to start planning my travels and my digital nomad journey. So I'm just going to share with you what I'm doing to prepare for that. So just kind of like some pre-text to that before I get into my actual list. I really had to build myself up after I got out of a divorce and I had my kids 100% of the time. So I had to kind of build this muscle of launching out and doing stuff, not being afraid. So one of the first kind of crazy drastic things that I did was I moved from Chicago to Florida a few years ago, just a couple of years ago. Then I actually moved from Florida to Puerto Rico into a rental property that I had on the island for a few years. So I'm taking these kind of baby steps, but these are actually a huge deal for me because I wasn't used to doing a lot of things on my own. I had been married for 17 years and I was just very comfortable in always having a second person there, someone else I can lean on. And my last two moves, I didn't have that. So I'm learning how to just launch out and do things. So without further ado, let me get into my real list so you can follow along with me and see what I'm doing to get into the travel life. I'm super duper excited. So one of the first things that I'm doing is I'm finding location independent income sources. So that means, income sources. So that can mean anything from making money as a freelancer, or you find remote work. I also have been investing in real estate. So rental properties is a part of my income producing plan. So basically something I can do no matter where I live. And obviously I'm going to have to research how the tax laws and tax treaties work in different countries. So that's part of that equation. But the main thing is, how am I going to finance this full-time travel? So far I have found work, pretty good income in freelance writing. I have my blog, my social media, I get some income from there, and then rental properties and a little bit of consulting and things like that. So far I think I'm doing okay. So I feel pretty confident in the next couple of years I will have all that squared away and I'll be ready to launch out as a digital nomad, or mostly traveling type person. So the next thing that I'm doing is eliminating debt. So for those of you who followed my journey, when I first got online, I told the world about how I paid off all this debt. Well, unfortunately, I actually went back into debt after I got divorced, and I'm not going to totally blame the divorce, but it played a role, but it doesn't matter. My goal is to repay off some debt that I have. And also, I don't want to be reliant on credit card use. That's actually been a part of my story as of late, but I have plans and I'm making strides towards paying that off. So my goal is, before I launch out and start traveling full time, I will be totally debt free. That's every single thing paid off like I was before. And then using credit cards maybe for points or something, but not having to rely on them to finance my lifestyle. So that's the second thing that I'm doing. And the third thing I'm doing, which has been super duper fun this year, was a year of travel for me. So I was fortunate enough to be invited to be a speaker at an international real estate conference because I'm investing in real estate internationally and people wanted to hear my story. So I went to the Dominican Republic this summer, and then I went to Europe and was able to visit the UK, France, Madrid, and then later on this summer I went to Chicago, but I'm from Chicago, so that doesn't count. And ended up my travels in the US Virgin Islands, and I have plans to do some more traveling next year, but just getting a sense of where I think I might want to live in some of the places that I want to explore a little bit more. And when I can't get a plane ticket, and go travel and spend money to do that. I'll go online and watch YouTube videos about different locations that I might think might be uh, expat friendly from like a tax perspective, from like culture and all those fun things that make travel worthwhile or living in a place worthwhile. So that's what I'm doing, checking out different places. And then the next thing I'm doing is researching healthcare options. And I say healthcare, not health insurance, because I'm a little bit non-conventional when it comes to healthcare. I tend to avoid how do I say this? Unnecessary medical intervention as much as I can. So as a result, I really don't use the health insurance that I have as much. I try to do a lot of self-care, preventative care, preventative maintenance, things like that. So I actually don't have to go to the doctor. And so what I'm looking for in terms of healthcare may look like a combination of health insurance, but also finding places where there are good deals and lots of medical tourism that makes something like, I don't know, teeth cleaning, teeth whitening, and maybe getting the little eyebrow tattoos or just kind of some vanity stuff for like really cheap. So that is kind of like my plan. Not sure exactly how that will pan out, but definitely having to research to see what's going to work for me while I am a road warrior traveling to these different places. And the last thing that I'm doing, well, actually, this is the first thing and probably the most important, is I am building my faith. I am a Christian, so almost everything that I do, if not everything, is by faith. I cannot leave God out of the equation. So when I say building my faith, that means reading scriptures and listening to sermons that talk about doing bold, audacious, daring things, going into the unknown. That is a way to prepare myself, like mentally and spiritually, for this journey, because the last few moves that I've made have really been by faith. And by the way, if you want to start living by faith, doing things by faith, I just got this epiphany to do a series about this. And the first book in that series is Real Estate by Faith. So I'm taking you along with me on my journey, talking about how I was able to start investing in real estate with very little money, both as a stay-at-home mom when I was married, and then when I got out of divorce, I didn't take anything with me, still a single mom, starting basically over from scratch. And just how I was able to do real estate, just really believing in God. So I want to encourage you, if you are on that journey to do something really daring, do something you've never done, and you know that you're not mentally prepared, you need an extra oomph, I would suggest you start with my Real Estate by Faith book. Even if you're not in the market for real estate right now, there are some principles in there that can help you build your faith for any endeavor. It might be investing by faith. It might be getting a job promotion by faith. It might be raising your kids by faith. There's so many principles in that book. I've gotten feedback that people really are getting a lot out of it, even people that are not necessarily trying to get real estate right now. So I definitely have to plug the book in that, because part of my goal to go abroad is to get more real estate. And do I know where the money's coming from? Do I know I'm going to do it? No, it's all going to be by faith. I just have to see the vision, pray and ask God for guidance, and then start executing and taking steps. So I want to share that process with you, and you can get that book. I'll put some links down below and some other free resources that should help you out. But anyway, I hope this video was interesting, helpful. I hope it just kind of gave you some insight on my process of how I am preparing to travel more, hopefully be a digital nomad. I don't know how long it's going to last, but until I don't want to do it anymore. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.